All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take another quick look at ZEBEC here, a very short update pertaining to how high we can be going here. I mean, at the peak of this bull cycle for ZEBEC, because up until this point, our blueprint has been very much clear that we are repeating exactly what XLM did back in 2017-2018 bull run, and it's quite looking safe right there. I have only shared this chart once, and we didn't really give it much thought as to how we can be using it in terms of predicting how high ZEBEC can go, but we're going to be doing just that in today's video. As I said before, this is going to be a very short update, but because it's short, YouTube really doesn't want to post short videos. I think you can actually help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It will communicate to the algorithm that, look, yes, this video is short and straight to the point, but this is exactly what you need at this point. Because what's the point of filling the video with filler material that we actually don't need? So without me further running my mouth too much, let me get right into it. And I think I don't really need to explain much. We have been saying time and again that, look, I think ZEBEC is following what is known as like an Elliott wave theory, which would say this is wave 1 from the very bottom, wave 2, this is wave 3 right there, this is wave 4, and we're looking to make this wave 5. Up until this point, I've said that, look, the highest price target that I anticipate ZEBEC to do is right around 2.5 cents. But after looking at this specific chart, I think I'm not bullish enough actually, right? I really believe that obviously I still have to take some profits right around 2.5 cents here for ZEBEC. But boy, if we go ahead and repeat exactly this here for ZEBEC, I think a lot of people are going to be turning out to be retiring this cycle. So I'm rooting for everybody to go ahead and have a fantastic bull run, as it seems clear now that we're headed for this final parabolic run. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, obviously. So since I was referring to stellar lumens back in 2017-2018, we can see here that when it began that run, which I'll show you in a few minutes, it was actually right around like $200 million. And that is when this last parabolic run was beginning, right around $200 million. Actually, if you come back to where ZEBEC was just, a few weeks ago, it was exactly right around that $200 million also. So in terms of like, comparing the numbers, I think we are doing something that is, very much objective right there. Also, I mean, considering that the structure looks very much the same here, but still now the question becomes, how high can ZEBEC do? Because if you look at what stellar lumens did back in the day, yes, there weren't much coins as we have today, but also there wasn't that much of capital, if you want to be honest, right? Today we have got like, I don't know, hundreds and multiples of the capital that we had back in 2017-2018. But look at this measurement, right? From the bottom until the peak, right after the parabolic run was done, this thing was rising a total of 12,000%. So that's basically like 120 something x to reach like an all-time high of right around like $16 billion or somewhere around that level, right? So from where ZEBEC is, should we just repeat the same thing? I mean, we're looking at ZEBEC right around like $16 billion in terms of its market cap. I really don't think it's possible right in this bull cycle. But the thing here is that it doesn't need to get to $16 billion in terms of its market cap. Maybe it can get there in future bull runs, but for this specific one, we don't even need those higher price targets. So let's go ahead and take another different route altogether and try to say, okay, if we want to be referring to our Fibonacci retracement tools here, because we usually want to see like what is the full scale of the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? How high can it go from the very top there until the bottom? We can see that, okay, for ZEBEC, we've been saying 1.4 cents, and I changed. I said, you know what, I'm not bullish enough. Let's go for 2.5 cents, and let's compare to what XLM was doing back then. So if we grab it from the very top until the bottom there, you will see that stellar lumens was exceeding the full Fibonacci scale by a huge margin actually. So I would also anticipate that ZEBEC goes on to do something crazy here, because let me just explain to you the dynamics of this whole thing, right? Number one, we're going for the last parabolic one. What it means is that everything, literally everything, is out of control. Like logic doesn't work here. It's irrational exuberance left, right, and center. You also realize that after you break the high right around like 0.078 here for ZEBEC, you are pretty much in price discovery. And what does price discovery mean, right? The sky is the limit. So this 127x that stellar lumens was doing here probably won't happen, but in terms of like the limitations that we usually have, like of the maximum Fibonacci scale and stuff like that, we have seen that those were shattered totally, right? Okay, let's take a different approach. We can try to use our Fibonacci retracement too from this peak here until the bottom and see how high it can go. This is where I've been saying 2.5 cents, right? The full Fibonacci scale one more time. But if we go ahead and try to apply the same thing here for stellar lumens from the very top until the bottom here, what you also realize is that Fibonacci level was shattered bigly, and I mean the price was even managing to go as high as another 300 something percent from where you would anticipate the whole thing to stop. So let's say ZEBEC could go ahead and repeat the same thing, like just exceeding that full scale with right around like 300%. We actually see a price target of close to, I would say, 10 cents at this point. Now that sounds like a much more logical price target for me, to be honest with you. Although, I mean, from where the price is sitting at this point, you'll be anticipating right around another 22, X or something like that. So you can already see that I'm all over the place when it comes to the price target of ZEBEC here. But one thing is very clear. I think my 2.5 cents here for ZEBEC is, not bullish enough. Still, I'm going to be taking some profits by the maybe 70% of the whole thing, and we'll see what the 30% that remains in there does, because really when this thing is going to be showing up the last rally, there is going to be a lot of irrational exuberance and stuff like that. I don't want to be the person to say that I'm only going to be selling if ZEBEC goes on to repeat what XLM did, printing that 22x from where the price is sitting at this point. I still think that there is a lot of money that can be made, considering that we also got ZEBEC a little bit earlier, right here when the market cap was right around, like, I think it was $75 million. So that's great. I mean, if ZEBEC is to go to like 10 cents, we are looking at a market cap of right around $8 billion. Yeah, as the space is growing, I think, these are things which are very much achievable, but can it be done in one bull cycle? We would have to wait and see. And, the bottom line here is that, look, the confirmation is there. The bull is coming here for ZEBEC. It's inevitable. Where really we're going to be exiting here is going to have the biggest head scratcher, because we have seen, the same structure happen here, play out exactly the same way it's happening, and we are probably right in this moment where things are going to be very exciting week in, week out here for ZEBEC, and I'm going to be here for it. Popcorns have already been prepared, and we're going to be watching this thing very much closely. As I said, I'm still going to be selling quite a bunch by around 2.5 cents by there, but still with a possibility of 5 cents, 10 cents. Yeah, these are things that can look very much great and enticing for ZEBEC. But you know what, we'll talk much more about this in future videos. Before I go, let me show you this campaign that we've begun with Bitunix, where you can go ahead and claim fantastic welcome bonuses right there. There are 3 events, and if you're gonna be taking advantage of this whole things, like up to $1,000 in terms of like bonuses and stuff like that, futures that you can trade and make much more money on top of that, you can go ahead and take a look at the link that I've put in the description. As I said, we've got 3 events right there. A welcome bonus of like $10, which you can use to trade and even make much more money from there. Then of course, the more you deposit, the more you actually get, the futures bonus as well. As a quick example, a deposit of $1,000 gets you to 200 USDT dollars, right? A deposit of $2,500 will get you 500 USDT, and you can trade this money as well and even make much more money on this. We call these kind of things like a gift that keeps giving right there, right? It just doesn't end there. The more you trade and the more volume you attain, the more and more airdrops you're going to be getting, and I think it's a fantastic deal altogether. So go ahead and take a look at Bitunix. I've put a link in the description. Just make sure that you're using that ref code, because it's the one that has got all these events right there. The event is specifically tailored for crypto front audience, so that's why it's very important to use that ref code, right? Now, with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video to friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one. If you want to be seeing more and more of this content of ZEBEC, please make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, and then I'll see you on the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.